I am so excited. We didn't rehearse any of this, but we've got three of the speakers from the convention on the show today. And the first one is a lady who recently sent me her book, Rebecca Friedrichs. You were what, the third speaker or something? When?
I'm told I was number two.
Number two after Charlie. And you know what's shocking? We're going to give it all away. We're going to just pull back the curtain right now, and you're going to see the little man behind the curtain. When did you record that speech? When did you write it first?
I wrote it in the middle of the night. I first found out on Friday. Wrote it in the middle of the night.
So just Friday. This is Tuesday.
Yes.
You write it Friday night. And when did they film it?
Yesterday.
Hang on. Yesterday was the convention. You filmed it yesterday.
Yes, because I was on a plane all day Sunday. I didn't arrive to D.C. until very late Sunday.
Okay, so first things first, you're not a friend of mine. I think we've met twice. But I've got to say this. First, it helps that the building is incredible. The Mellon building is stunning. But your speech, I mean, last night was amazing. Your speech was one of the most powerful speeches of the night. I mean, truly.
Wow.
Not just the content, but your delivery was immaculate.
Wow.
I mean, truly. I was like, I know that lady. Where's she been hiding? That's amazing. How is she doing that? Did she have a team of writers? Has she been murder boarding, rehearsing it for weeks? No, I wrote it Friday night and we filmed it a few hours before the convention. Wow, there's a reason that you were chosen. I'm so glad the presidents have met you. Let's talk about who you are and what you do. I have in my hand your book. It's called Standing Up to Goliath, okay? And it is battling state and national teachers' unions for the heart and soul of our kids and country. The lady can be followed on Twitter right now. I love her name on Twitter. It's For Kids and Country. The number 4, For Kids and Country. Follow her right now. So tell us where your journey began. You realized something, what, at the age of 22 you were teaching. What did you realize about the career you'd chosen for yourself, Rebecca?
Well, I realized that the teaching profession had been completely infiltrated by radical, angry unions who are totally corrupt. And it didn't matter what I did to try to protect the children that were in my care or on my campus. I couldn't protect them fully because of these truly Marxists posing as teachers' unions. And I didn't have a choice. I had to pay them.
Right. Mandatory.
Yes, that's right. And mandatory that I took their, quote, representation, and they never, ever represented me. Even when I was a union leader, they didn't represent me.
My friend Chris Plant has an audio that he uses on his radio show here in D.C. that he uses regularly where somebody surreptitiously, I guess, on a phone or something, recorded a national meeting of the teachers' unions where they're talking about how we are there to inculcate, they use the word neo-Marxist concepts into the classroom. For those who haven't heard Chris's audio, for those who are saying, what is she talking about? Will you explain your experience and why you saw the evidence that these people who run the unions, who represent the unions, are there to indoctrinate our children?
They absolutely are. So let me back up a little bit in history. So there's these 45 goals of the Communist Party that were actually read into our congressional record in 1963. Goal number, I think it was 16 or 17, was infiltrate the teacher associations. Yeah. They did it.
And the colleges.
Oh, yeah.
Teacher training colleges. Hugely important.
There's 45 goals. Happy to send you a PDF of it. You can share with your listeners. So they took that goal very seriously. And they have been inside the unions for decades. And I always tell people, look, if I was the devil, what would I do? I'd get behind the most innocent faces and I would get behind the most trusted faces. Well, the trusted are teachers, the innocent are the children. Right. And then I would indoctrinate both. So that's what they've been doing. They've been bullying teachers like me and silencing us and indoctrinating the children. And people go, wait a minute. My child's teacher's really sweet. Yeah, I was sweet. I taught kindergarten through 4th grade. I'm still sweet. And I never would have harmed the children. But I was in a corrupt system that I couldn't fix. And so the unions and their Marxist buddies bring all of these radical ideologies and agenda into our classrooms. And they are working with over 200 organizations around the country, special interest groups, who not only are indoctrinating the children to hate America total anti-American curriculum, which they brought in through Common Core, by the way. But they're also sexualizing our children, which is another thing Marxists do. So it's dangerous. And when I figured it out...
When did you realize? What was that moment?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. So about halfway into my career, I decided, look, I'm forced to pay these people. I think I'm going to become a union leader. And so I stepped up and I served on the executive board in my local union. Well, it was like banging my head against the wall. I couldn't get anything done. However, I learned a lot in my 3 years. I learned that when we spoke up, and we dared to say, hey, we'd like to have a voice in how our money's spent. Oh boy, you don't say that. We were, it was like whack-a-mole. We were just bonked down and completely harassed. I think I said in my speech last night, we were literally shouted down.
Yes.
We'd be up on the podium trying to say, hey, we don't believe in 80% taxes on corporations. And we would just be booed off the platform. So that's when I realized was when I was on the inside.
Trotsky said it, Hitler said it, Stalin said it, Lenin said it. Give me their children and I will own their future. She's Rebecca Friedrichs, second speaker at last night's incredible Republican convention. The book is Standing Up to Goliath. Much, much more that you need to know here on America First. Don't go anywhere. Do you ever worry about your retirement? Will your funds grow over time, and will they be there when you really need them? Don't bet all of your retirement on a risky stock market or a crashing dollar. My friends at Midas Gold Group can show you how to add the safety and stability of physical gold and silver to your existing IRA or old 401k. The process is simple and tax-free. Do what I did. Discover how Midas Gold can bring you financial security today.
On the side of the U.S. Constitution, America first.
Somebody else who's on the side of the Constitution and this great nation is our in-studio guest, first of the day. She gave the second speech yesterday. The man who gave the first will also be with us, Charlie Kirk, and also Kimberly Guilfoyle, because that's how much we love you guys. We get you the best guests. The book is Standing Up to Goliath. Get it now. The author is Rebecca Friedrichs. We need to talk about, support her. Go to For Kids and Country. That's FOR, for kidsandcountry.org. We'll talk about the film you're making, which connects to this. But first things first, in 90 seconds, what do you say to those people who say, she's crazy? What do you mean teachers and Marxism and indoctrination? I don't believe that.
Have they noticed what's going on in our schools? Have they seen how the teachers' unions are literally blackmailing the American people right now?
Right now.
They are saying, we won't open schools unless you defund the police, unless you give Medicare for all, unless you literally take the officers off the campus and replace them with counselors. That all comes from Black Lives Matter. The teachers' unions actually have been advertising Black Lives Matter for years in their magazines. I read all of their internal business items and all of that. I would say do your homework.
Yeah.
And it just, go on our website. Go on our website and click on union politics. Just read that.
Just check out the primary sources. It's forkidsandcountry.org, FOR, kidsandcountry.org. Tell us about, the book is Standing Up to Goliath, but now you're working on a film, Rebecca?
We are. We're working on a documentary/movie, and it's because my book is loaded with about 4 dozen teachers and a few parents who were brave enough to let me tell their story of how the unions are not only bullying and harming teachers, kids, and our country, but how they have just completely infiltrated. So since I wrote the book, and since we took a case to the U.S. Supreme Court, and teachers are suddenly free from paying unions, we're trying to educate them, and more people have actually found their courage. So we have all these people ready to tell their stories. So we're creating a documentary of their stories, exposing the unions.
Talk to us about that last part, because for me, what was it, guys? Maybe 3 or 4 months ago when I realized there's only one question right now, and it's courage. It's a few months ago. Courage is the question right now. It doesn't matter what the issue is, First Amendment, Second Amendment, pro-life, the schools, COVID. It's about courage.
That's right.
How hard has your journey been? Talk to us about where you found your courage, Rebecca.
I found it from God, no other place. We have a prayer team that prays for me constantly. I could not in my integrity not say something. What I saw on the inside of my school district and my school that was completely corrupted by these unions who claim to represent everybody, and they do not. I saw that, and I got on the inside, and it just kept getting worse. It's a cesspool. I couldn't stand in my integrity and not expose it.
Cesspool is the right word. Okay, so what's the plan? Can people support you with your film?
Would they please? So they can go to our website for kidsandcountry.org and they can donate to us. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. They would get a tax deduction. We have to raise about $500,000 to get this. We already have it rolling. We already have our seed funding, but it costs a lot of money. And we have the most amazing production team. I can't give things away yet.
Okay.
And our working title, we'll just go with Standing Up to Goliath for now, but we're noodling on another title. And we are just so excited.
Cesspool, you got to have cesspool in there somewhere.
Okay, I'll consider that.
Right? Goliath in the cesspool or something, right?
That's great. That's great. But we need so much help. Look, we can't do this alone. When I took a case to the U.S. Supreme Court, it was myself and 9 other teachers, 10 teachers, okay, standing up to the...
How much did that cost you?
Oh, my goodness. Well, it cost me my whole career, really.
Right.
But we had nonprofits who were funding that. We teachers don't have the money to bring a case to the U.S. Supreme Court. But the point is, there were 10 of us standing against the most powerful and brutal unions in the country. And then, of course, Kamala Harris intervened against us, and so did Barack Obama and Joe Biden. So we were standing against the entire country for the kids. And that's a David and Goliath fight. And so it did take a lot of courage, but it was the right thing to do. And you know what? The number one question people asked me was, are you afraid for your life? Because I was lead plaintiff. My name was on it. And you know what? Sometimes I was. But I would rather die for the right cause than be a coward.
Yeah.
It just comes down to that. And I'm still alive.
What did Churchill say? If you have enemies, good. It means you've stood for something. The book is Standing Up to Goliath. She is a warrior. Support this woman and her team. Go to forkidsandcountry.org. That's FOR kidsandcountry.org, and follow her on Twitter for the number Kids and Country. God bless you. We're going to have you back. We're going to talk about all the things you've witnessed. We're going to do an hour-long special on our podcast. Pray for this lady, because she is on the tip of the spear fighting for the future of our nation. I'm Sebastian Gorka. This is America First of the Salem Radio Network, broadcasting from just outside the swamp that is Washington, D.C., from the ReliefFactor.com studios.